All right, you guys, so here's a little chicken, broccoli, and my favorite mixed nut and seed butter from Costco on top. So I got some fats, obviously here with some fiber, and of course a boatload of phytonutrients from the broccoli. And of course I've got chicken breast here. And that's it. So this was batch made, and of course the nut butter just comes from the jar. So very easy to put together once everything's made.
Fit in 10 Nation, it is day 32 of the Fit in 10 Challenge, and that is a typical meal that I eat that you just saw there. Wasn't that exciting? So obviously the chicken is a lean source of protein, right? That's very protein dense. Chicken breast is one of the most protein dense sources that you can have of protein. And then of course I had some broccoli there for some, some phytonutrients and some fiber, and some nut and seed butter for a fat source. You might be wondering, where are my carb sources? I don't have a lot of carbs in my diet. I feel better without them. I typically go fairly low carbohydrate with my diet. About 40% protein, 40% of my calories come from protein, 40% come from fat, and about 10% or 20% come from carbohydrates. If I put into MyFitnessPal, which did I tell you guys I did because I don't usually use MyFitnessPal anymore, but I put them all in, and did I share that with you guys? I should probably check the Facebook group and see if I put it up there. I don't remember. Anyways, I have about 150 grams of carbs per day. That would be a higher day for me. And, usually a good chunk of that, at least a third of that, is fiber, so not really carbohydrates, which we'll talk about in the near future. Okay, so, but yeah, like I said, protein or chicken is one of the most protein-dense foods you can have. All right, and that nut and seed butter is from Costco, by the way. I think I showed you guys that way back in the beginning. Really, really good source of fat, and it tastes really good too. All right, let's get to some questions here. This person says, I was pretty close to being compliant. This person's referring to their diet. I'm trying 4 full meals and spreading them out throughout the day instead of 3 meals and 2 snacks. The snacks were not enough to keep me satiated. This week, I will focus on my 4 meals and every 3 hours. I'll focus on my 4 meals every 3 to 4 hours and see how I feel. All right, so generally speaking, every 3 hours or so is what I recommend, not because it's better for your metabolism, not because you can lose more fat, but just because it will allow you to have a sustained amount of energy. It should help to keep your blood sugar levels at an even level, and as a result, you shouldn't be as hungry. Okay, so to be honest with you, I like your idea of the 3 meals and 2 snacks, which to me is just, I would call that 5 meals. I'm assuming you call them snacks because they're smaller meals. What I like to do is I do like 5 meals. Okay, so they're basically basically isocaloric each meal. Take all my macros divided by 5 and apply it to each meal. That's what I like to do. So I don't know if that helps you or not, but that would be my my suggestion. I got out of the habit of recording my lifts. I can't make progress if I don't increase my weights. I will focus on recording and making gradual increases to my weights. Listen, increasing your weights is one thing that I am going to encourage you guys all to do, because especially in the beginning of weight training, you're going to see the greatest increase in your strength. And when I say that, I mean because everything is so fresh and new to you, there are so many components to strength training that are going to help you to get stronger. So what I mean by that is you're going to learn how to do movements better. So that will help you to be stronger, okay? Just because you know how to do the movement better. So even if the muscle didn't actually get stronger, you will be putting up more weight, okay? And there's other things like neural activation. You're going to get greater neural activation just from doing the movement. Of course, you're going to get increased muscle fiber size, okay? That's sort of the obvious thing. But you're also going to get more nerve innervation in the muscle, which is going to help you to be stronger as well. Okay, you're also going to learn how to, your body will learn how to produce more force on demand. It will also learn how to deliver that force in a more efficient manner, or the force production down, basically the nerve itself, will become more efficient and faster. Okay, so reaction time is going to get better too. So there's a whole host of reasons, but coming back to my point, you know, your strength is going to go up a lot in the beginning, more so than obviously mine is going to. So I like the idea of going up in weight, but listen, you can always try to, and you've heard me say this before, to get the most out of the least. So, you know, make sure you are not, you know, you're not hindering your form or your speed with the weight, because you always want to be under control, right? Good control, especially on those eccentric portions of the movement. Okay, you guys know what eccentrics are, just quickly. So like on a squat, it's when you're coming down. Basically when all the muscles are going through a stretch phase. And a pull-up, it's going to be when you're going up, or when your arms are extending. We're going through that stretch phase. Okay, we want good control on that. All right, and there's things like, you know, adding volume is going to increase the intensity. You know, frequency of doing the movement throughout the week is going to increase the overall intensity. All right. What else can I say here? Doing things like, you know, drop sets. This is beyond the challenge, but I'm just going to tell you now. Doing things like drop sets or supersets or pause sets, or, you know, all these types of things. These are things that can be put into a set with the same weight to make it much harder, okay, or less weight for that matter, to make it more intense. You don't always have to add weight, is my point. But for the sake of the challenge, I'm going beyond here, obviously, but for the sake of the challenge, yes, you can focus on adding weight, but just make sure that you master the weight that you can do first before going up. Make sure you can master it, right? So taking squats again as an example, make sure you're getting that depth, right? Okay, that's just one thing. All right, next question here. Goal, something to improve upon. Be more aware of breathing through the movements and not rounding my shoulders, because I noticed my scalenes and my sternocleidomastoid muscles are quite tight this week. I think I'm holding my breath and clenching. Okay, so this person is referring to the muscles around their neck. Back here. Look, you can work, those muscles can get worked from just training. Every time I squat, I typically am sore in my neck because I tend to strain through my neck a lot. And I'll just never get away from that. It's just what happens. I mean, you're tensing your whole body. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with working the musculature of your neck. You know, it is, you know, ideally you kind of want to strengthen everything, right? So, you know, having some tightness, I know it's not comfortable. You know, you can do some stretches for that, even some self-massage for your neck. But it's probably just happening from training in general, okay? Question, what is the minimum amount of time I should allow between classes for recovery and to not hinder muscle development? Is it okay to take 2 classes per day, morning and evening? This is a huge question. You're never going to get any consensus on this. There's many people that I follow who I greatly respect, who are very advanced in the sport of, you know, developing their body, and they have completely different, you know, theories on this. They do different things, but they both have great physiques. They both have incredible muscle mass. So, you know, I think that, I guess what I'm saying here is that I think that this is, to a certain point, this is overplayed, or there's too much emphasis on this, you know. Although some people might be more sensitive. Some people may require more rest. Some people don't. I was just listening to a guy that I followed the other day, and he was talking about how he's a professional bodybuilder, and he is training every body part, I think every 3 days or every 2 days or something like that. Basically, like there's basically 48 hours between workouts. But you have to also ask yourself, how much volume are you doing? Now, you guys aren't doing a lot of volume with the Fit in 10 program. If you're doing the classes, you're doing a little bit more volume. So if you do more volume, I would recommend more rest time. How much rest time? 3 days. Okay? If you're doing one movement, you know, honestly, you could probably get away with just doing it every single day. Like if you did one back movement every single day, I mean, at some point, I guess you probably want to take a day off. But, you know, you could do like, you know, one back movement 5 days in a row, you know, making them different back movements, and it should be fine. But again, it just depends on the volume, and I failed to mention the intensity, okay? So if you're training a muscle and it's still sore, is that going to hinder the growth? I don't know. I'm going to say to you, I don't know. I don't like doing it. I like to recover. I like to like knowing when I've felt like I've recovered. But people are different, and people swear by different things. But generally speaking, if people are doing more frequently, their volume and their overall intensity is less, okay? So just keep that in mind, all right? For you guys, you're learning movements, you're not doing high volume, you can do more frequent, okay? So I hope that helps you. Is it okay to take 2 classes per day? Sure. I don't see why not. Go ahead. Yes. Okay. And FYI, I've done a squat program where I was squatting 4 days per week. Heavy too, like 75 to 95% of my 1 rep max. All right, and I did that for weeks and weeks on end. And I survived, didn't lose any muscle. I'm not sure if I gained muscle. I don't know. I gained a lot of strength though. Gained a lot of strength in my squat. All right, message of the day. Here are the 3 P's that I want you to remember. The 3 P's. Perseverance, patience, and positivity. Okay? So you've got to keep persevering. As much as you might have these times where you feel like you want to give up, you got to persevere, because that's how you will become successful. You will not be successful if you give up. Okay? I think we can all agree on that. That's the only way you can fail, is if you give up. You've got to be patient. Things don't happen overnight. Things don't happen overnight, okay? I am still improving on certain things, and I've been training with weights for 31 years. I've been training with weights for 31 years, pretty much nonstop. I mean, from the age of 9 to like 14, there may have been some periods in there where I wasn't training, but like, I don't know, a few weeks or something. But for the most part, since 9, consistently, I've been training. And I'm still learning, and I'm still improving, okay? Patience. Things take time. Positivity, we've got to be positive, you guys. This just, that really how you want to look at things, and how you take things is how you choose to take things. Okay? So keep your chin up. Listen, okay, I'm approaching 12 minutes here. This is getting ridiculous, but let me just tell you a quick story. Some of you heard the story already, so I'll be very, very quick. Last challenge, somebody came in and they said, I'm really sad the challenge is ending. And I thought to myself, okay, well, probably because, they're going to miss the workouts, or they're going to miss, I don't know, maybe my beautiful face on this video. But they said it was because they're going to miss the challenge of trying to work out their macros. And I thought that was really cool, because they enjoyed it. Like, most people are annoyed that they have to figure out their macros and get everything in. And it's a pain in the ass. But for her, it was a puzzle, which is exactly what she told me. She said it was a puzzle, and she's going to miss that puzzle. So just different perspective, right? She had a positive perspective on that. Anyways, all right, you guys, submit, commit, do everything that you have to do, right? Get your workouts in, do your diet, persevere, be patient, and of course, be positive. I'll talk to you guys all soon. See you guys.